Hey guys, and welcome back to our podcast, Bench Talk. I'm Campbell.
I'm Ann.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Cate.
This week's topic is sports marketing.
Okay, so what do we think about sports marketing just in general?
I don't know. I mean, the first thing I think of is just like how you put out your product as a sport, just to an entire audience, how you reach new audiences, and just stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like sports marketing is definitely a huge part of sports communication, and I think it impacts kind of the whole realm of sports comm a lot.
I think it really engages the fan, which I think is important because, like, the whole dynamic of a game shifts, like, depending on the fan atmosphere, I feel like, and can really play a big part. And so I think that it plays a lot in that. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, an example I can think of just, like, recently is, like, with the Super Bowl announcing that Bad Bunny's but is performing at a halftime show is, like, I think it's more of a marketing move than, because it'll probably be the most listened to or watched Super Bowl halftime show ever, but, like, it's not really marketing to the American audience, more of, like, the worldwide audience.
It's very true.
Another example is this week they had all the rivalry jersey reveals, and that was a big part of obviously sports marketing, is that got people excited for the games, excited to watch, maybe just to even see how the uniforms looked on the field.
Did you guys see the Dolphins jersey reveal?
Yes, that was so
Everybody
cool.
in the comments was like, the best jersey in the league with the worst team. And I feel like that goes to show sports marketing, honestly, because even though, like, they're not the best team in the league, like, their sports marketing team is working overtime.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can make a team look way better than they actually are
Completely.
by the way that you market.
And, like, keep your fan spirits up. Because, like, if you have a team that's consistently losing, it's hard to keep your fan spirit up. But I feel like they're doing the best they can.
I mean, we would know.
So true.
Yeah.
I feel like we're still doing a good job of marketing our teams despite.
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about us every week, no matter what we do.
Yeah,
so
It's true. It's the whole point.
we obviously
Good and
do
bad,
something
for
about it.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Y'all saw the whole, we can't lose to the bye week, and then everyone's making memes.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
we lost to the bye
It's
week.
so funny. I saw one that was like, oh, shoot, guys, our bye week got postponed for a lightning delay. That's so funny.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I would love to have a home game without a lightning delay. I don't know about
That'd
you
be
guys.
great.
Yeah.
Crazy stat.
So what, do you guys think that sports marketing has, like, evolved at all, and if so, in what ways?
I'd say for sure. I think social media, obviously, the biggest. I'd also say probably AI is helping to evolve it. I think a huge part of sports marketing is the creative side of it, and even though AI can't really take away creative, I feel like it definitely has impacted it a lot.
Yeah. I feel like we see a lot of like the game reveal graphics. A lot of those are made with AI, and I don't think people realize, but the ones that are really intricate. And so I agree.
Yeah.
AI and it makes it I feel like there was one that I saw, and it was the South Carolina one, and it was the chicken feathers, and all that stuff is AI. So I just think it makes it a lot cooler and ways to market.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of ways it expands the boundaries of what you can do. But it also might get rid of some jobs, which could be sad to see.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, do you guys think AI is more beneficial for sports marketing, or is it kind of does take away a lot of jobs, but it also opens up new opportunities? So what do you guys think?
I'd say I'm probably pretty neutral. I think any new technological advancement is going to have its benefits and drawbacks, but I think it's just kind of about the ever-evolving field. So I think it's not necessarily good or bad, just something new that you have to deal with.
Yeah. I think it threatens a lot of the creative, like graphic design is more threatening in that way, but you still have to have a human person
Completely.
working on those graphics.
Yeah.
So I really don't think.
Fair. How do you guys think that social media has changed the way sports marketing works?
I think it's shortened people's attention spans. It makes people have to rework around. You can't really post a long video like that anymore without people clicking off. You want your retention rates to be high. You want people to watch all the way through, make money off of ads. But with social media, it's getting definitely harder for people to sit through those longer content. And yeah, I think that's how it's definitely changed, maybe in a negative way.
Yeah, I know, a specific example I've seen is, I don't know if do any of you guys play fantasy football? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in terms of like content creation for fantasy football, it used to be like people would make long videos of like rankings or talking about players or whatever, and now it's really like switched to just TikTok is the biggest place to find like fantasy advice from whatever, if that's what you want to see. But like it's just way shorter videos, like quick to the point rankings, and it's definitely interesting. I don't know if I like it more or less, but
Yeah. I feel like TikTok's ruined everybody's attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, including my own, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I notice it all the time.
My dad talks about that all the time. He was like, why don't you guys just sit down and read a book? And he's like, it's because you guys have no attention span. And it's like honestly true. It's like those like short like dopamine hits, and like
For sure.
we can't focus on things for that long anymore. Which is
Yeah.
kind of scary, but
I feel like social media has also, though, expanded sports marketing in the sense that you can follow players just as much as you can follow teams. I feel like before it's kind of like, yeah, you watch the team on, like, during their game, but you don't really get to see, like, the players outside of that. And I feel like social media has definitely created a huge space for that kind of sports marketing.
Yeah, how they present themselves is huge, especially with social media, because there's obviously like positive fan interactions with those players, but there's also a lot of people that will just not like an athlete because of what they post, and they might not agree with their viewpoints just in like their lives. And I think that's an interesting thing to look at.
For sure.
I think with Clemson too, like I've seen a lot of effective, like the marketing department, like using their using social media to promote their marketing, like promotions, I guess. And like they did one like with women's soccer the other day, and they're giving away like an iPad Pro and like headphones and stuff like that. So I think in that way, like it's helpful because like now we're all just on our phones all the time. So like using social media to like promote games, and their like marketing promos to like get people to come to games for those like, I guess, lesser attended sports, I think is important.
Yeah.
So, and helpful.
For sure.
Yeah, how do you guys think that marketing benefits the game itself?
I think a huge part of the game is the atmosphere. I mean, like, home field advantage exists for a reason. And I think marketing gets fans to games, honestly, and, like, gets fans excited. And I think that contributes to, like, the fan experience and the player experience, honestly, a ton.
I think of like the Penn State whiteout and like
Yeah.
the checkerboard, like the Neyland Stadium checkerboard. It's like it gets people in and it gets people excited, and like if they have a history of like doing well with those games, like it can contribute to the athlete's success. Like if you like, I don't know, if I played for Penn State and I like walked out and like the whole stadium was white,
Yeah.
I would be like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like I'm gonna
Completely.
go ball.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like it just feels like awesome. So
Yeah, I know, like, specifically an example with, like, us here at Clemson, like, when we wore the purple jerseys for the first time in forever against Georgia Tech, it was, like, they marketed that as, like, trying to revitalize the team or whatever, and it obviously didn't work. And then they were, like, there were rumors this week that they're going to wear, like, all-white helmets, which I don't think is true, but, like, stuff like that, they just, like, when a team's down, like, again, you guys mentioned uniforms earlier, but, like, any way to get the fans more into it, like, when obviously
sure.
this might be like the lowest point that Clemson's been in
In
a
a
long
while.
time. Yeah.
It's tough out here.
that's true.
I think one we can look at is the Ryder Cup that just happened.
Yeah.
Like, you have to market it, like, a lot. Like, Europe versus Americans, like, it's what
It's a
golf
huge
fans want to watch, and not even golf fans, because it is the biggest event in golf.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not even like that into golf, and I'm like super excited
Oh,
for the Ryder.
completely.
I'm really excited.
We lost,
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah.
see them in Ireland.
I feel like that kind of is like the Olympics in a way. Like, obviously our country, like, people are always rooting for different teams, but as soon as it hits the Olympics, it's like USA all the way.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show about like their marketing going into it.
Yeah.
Right. And like I feel like it brings out like a level of pride in every sports fan, even if you're not that like much of a patriot or whatever.
Completely.
You want your team. You're like, I want America to win. So like.
Yeah.
Bragging rights.
For sure.
Do y'all think that marketing benefits the athletes? And if so, how?
Yes, especially nowadays with NIL. Market athletes, they'll get paid, brings more attention to your school. It's a win-win for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't really know. I mean, I'm sure there are downsides to marketing for athletes. I mean, like, obviously more attention, more spotlight on you, that's probably intimidating.
Yeah.
But I think in a lot of ways, it's probably beneficial for them.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I know with NIL now, there's a lot of like lower level schools that are getting like, I know a specific example is like there are a bunch of freshman quarterbacks this year. Like Maryland has a freshman quarterback that's playing really well. Cal does, and like these guys are getting big NIL deals where they are, but also there's like rumors that these guys are going to just go to a bigger school where they can market themselves more and more people can watch them. So I think it's interesting how that's like changed everything.
Okay, so what trends do you think that we're seeing in sports marketing right now?
I think there's a huge growing of short edits on TikTok, which might be oddly niche, but I think that's a huge, I mean, like, obviously edits have kind of always been around since, like, even we were younger, but I think since technology is so much more accessible nowadays, and, like, all the, YouTube tutorials, whatever it is, like, people are learning how to edit and doing a great job of it, and so I think that is, like, such a growing area.
Yeah, I know personally, like, I love watching sports edits on TikTok. Sometimes I'll just, like, get into one and then start watching them over and over and over, and I don't know. It's, like, a cool way to see, like, especially, like, athletes that I kind of forgot about. Someone makes an edit about them, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Like, he was pretty fun to watch. Just stuff like that.
For sure.
I think of like the
go ahead.
the Los Angeles Chargers especially, but like the NFL like schedule release videos, like how they market those, and just like how many different twists can you put on like the concept of the schedule release, and like that kind of getting people excited and getting people to come to games is like one of my favorite things. I remember the Hornets one was kind of lame, or that's NBA, but I don't remember the one where it's like the Titans and they're like on the street in Nashville and they're like, what team is this? And they show them the logo and it's like so wrong. But I felt like that one made me really excited just for that.
Yeah, I know LSU had a really good schedule reveal.
Yeah.
I know it's a tough subject, but they had a really cool reveal.
Yeah.
I think also kind of going to that, so many companies, not even just in the sports world, but honestly in a lot of aspects, are hiring young social media coordinators because they're trying to stay on top of trends. So I think that's definitely, I would say it's necessarily growing because you're always trying to be on trend. But I feel like the kind of like trend of hiring younger to stay active with the younger crowds is definitely a growing area.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, just maybe not so much professional, but like in middle school sports and high school sports, there's a lot of people that are, and even in college, there's a lot of people that are doing their own like almost freelance like photography and videography and like even edits, and like they're doing that on their own just because they want to learn it. And I think that's just showing how like the trends are growing and how different people are trying to hop on with social media and just sports marketing in general.
For sure.
So, like, what are your guys' favorite forms of sports marketing, if you had to pick any?
I'm always on my phone, so I love digital, and I love TikTok.
Yeah, I love, obviously, social medias, TikToks, but I feel like especially sports, like, videography, I think that's what I've been into recently.
Yeah. I know, like, my favorite, I don't know if it's really considered marketing, but it's kind of a way to market football, is like NFL Red Zone completely changed the way I like watch football, and I don't really know if I could go back. Like, I'm from Maryland, so I watch every Commanders game still, but but Red Zone is like gotta have it on. I think it's a cool way to get people that like have short attention spans to like watch it for 7 hours straight. Like me.
I also like commercials.
Yeah.
You know, they're bringing your favorite athletes back that are retired and putting them in commercials. So your football game, TV timeout, and there you go. There's Eli Manning.
Yeah. That's
true.
awesome. That's true. Especially with Super Bowl. Like, obviously that
Yeah.
real commercials are kind of a huge deal there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm a big news girl. I
Okay.
think it's so interesting to see how different people, like different news outlets, whether they're like the super big channels or like the small local ones, just frame different things, because there are so many different ways that they can frame an athlete winning, losing, like having an injury. I just think that that's super interesting. I saw that a lot with Tyreek Hill's injury. There were a lot of different news outlets like talking about how it could be a good thing, how it could be a bad thing, and just kind of some people were dissing on him. I just thought that was interesting how they frame stuff like that.
Completely. Tyreek Hill's leg breaking.
Gross. So nasty.
And he
But,
was,
like, even
laughing
that,
about
he
it
was
after.
so-
Yeah,
I
mean,
Yeah,
I
and
was
like
just in shock. I can't even lie.
completely.
Yeah.
But like even that goes into like sports marketing of like they chose to show him laughing, you know, like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
thoughts behind everything that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
welcome back, everybody. I'm interviewing one of my best friends, Avery. She plays lacrosse at Coastal Carolina, and yeah.
I'm Campbell.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Ann.
I'm Cate.
I'm Avery. I play lacrosse here at Coastal, and I'm also a sport management major. So I'm technically a senior, but I graduated in 3 years. I finished my undergrad last year and got my bachelor's in recreation and sport management. And now I'm still playing, finishing out my senior year of lacrosse, and also pursuing grad school. So I'm scheduled to finish my master's degree in sport management this August. Well, I also have a graduate assistantship with the Chanticleer Athletic Foundation, which is basically like a full-time job. And I'm there every day working with the donors and the sponsors that basically keep our athletic program running and fund Coastal Athletics.
Can you tell us what it's like balancing lacrosse, academics, and your role as a grad assistant?
Yeah, so I actually thought it was going to be a lot harder than it really is. I mean, I do have the 3 years of prior experience being a student athlete, and what I've learned throughout those 3 years is how to manage my time, which really carried over into what I'm doing now. It is a lot more of a workload, but I feel like knowing how to manage my time really helped with that. So I have a set schedule for every single day. I know when I have extra time in the day to maybe get some things done that I couldn't do on other days. And just having a really organized schedule and knowing what I'm doing every day really helps me kind of get through everything with all the stuff that I have to do during the day.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, but what do you feel like is an area that you've grown in throughout that role?
So I think definitely like professional communication. I mean, almost everyone that I work with is full time and a lot older than me. So I was really nervous going in and kind of being able to like speak for myself also. And um I think also just a lot of like being more independent. Like I thought that I was going to go in and just be following someone around, but it is a very independent job, and I've learned how to just like take a very vague task and like kind of put myself and like my ideas into that. So definitely like professional communication with like the experts in the field, like my full-time job coworkers, and like what I said before, just kind of learning how to do tasks individually and not be scared to mess up, because being a grad assistant, it is a place for learning. Like I'm not at their level yet, and just not being afraid to mess up.
Awesome. So what does like a typical day look like for you in your life?
So it depends. I have really busy days and then I have not busy days, but every Monday and Wednesday I have class. So I'll get up and I go to work every day around 8:30 and 9. I will be at work until I have to go to practice, and then I'll practice. Right now, we're in there for about like 2.5 to 3 hours of practice. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, I go to class. So I have 3 classes right now. So I'll go there from 4 to 5:15 and then have a little break, eat dinner, and then go back to class from 6 to 8:45 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Those days are really hard, but it's good because I do get the Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays to kind of have a little more time to my 5:30. And then when we do now in the fall, when we have home football games, majority of them are on Saturdays. We've had 2 so far, so I work almost all day on Saturday, basically setting everything up for the donors, all of the premium seating areas, making sure that everything checks out and they're getting what they paid for, and then staying throughout the whole game, making sure that they're okay, and then cleaning up afterwards. So game days are long, and so are those Mondays and Wednesdays, but I like having the busy schedule, and it all kind of works out if I know how to manage my time and utilize the time that I have off.
That's really awesome. In what ways do you work and like interact with other departments in the athletic world?
Yeah, so for my job, the CAF, we kind of work with everyone because we have to promote all these new things. We have to market them, obviously. We have to work with facilities. So I'm basically talking to all the different departments every day. It does help that we're all in the same building. So if we need something posted out, we'll go knock on marketing's door right down the hallway and have them help us out with a graphic or something like that. If we need to talk to facilities about if we can or cannot use something, we have them right there. We kind of interact with them every day. And there's so many different things that go into the CAF that I feel like no one would really understand. We call it like the team behind the team because there's so much that goes into kind of preparing it. Like you wouldn't really know that for one game day, like one singular football game, there's over a month's worth of work that goes into it. So every day is kind of different, and we work with all of the different departments to make sure that it's all runs smoothly.
What do you think your favorite part of the job is?
I think my favorite part is just kind of like what I said before, getting to see what goes on behind the scenes. Like as a student athlete, I feel like I never really thought of what happens behind the scenes in that aspect, and kind of getting to work on that and learn and see how much work really does go into it just makes me appreciate it even more, especially in my games. Like I can see how much work is put into it. And also just meeting all of these new people, like my coworkers, they're all very successful in what they do. And especially the donors too. It's really good connections. And even some of the people that I've met already have asked me about post grad stuff. So making the connections with whoever you can, my field especially, my job that I have now is great for connecting with new people. And then kind of just realizing and appreciating the work that goes into putting on these events and the behind the scenes part of it.
How did you kind of get into this role, and like, did you always know you wanted to work in sports, or like, what's the vibe there?
So I didn't really know. I mean, obviously I came to Coastal, I came to Coastal to play lacrosse. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my major. I took like college anatomy in high school, so like really no. But I wanted to do something. I saw rec and sport management and I thought that that was interesting. And then I went through my whole undergrad, never changed it out of my major, loved my professors, and they're the ones that helped me to kind of graduate early. And then once I took in my last semester of undergrad, event planning class, I really, really liked that. And then my boss, who I work for now, came into our class and was kind of talking about her job. And then once I got into grad school, I saw that there was the opportunity to work for her. And I immediately knew I wanted to take it because the event planning was kind of the class that like really resonated with me. And I really liked everything that they were doing. So it kind of all just fell into place, if that makes sense. I never really expected any of this to happen, but I feel like none of us really know what we're expecting in college and out of college. So just kind of taking everything as it comes to me. Like if an opportunity presents itself and it's somewhat interesting, I'm gonna take it.
Going off that, and then you said you connected with a few people about post, I guess, graduation of grad school. Are you looking to work for Coastal Carolina Athletics after grad school, or are you kind of trying to rotate into something else?
I think that it would definitely be a good starting point for me, especially since I'm only doing my grad school for 1 year. It is a lot to kind of get into and learn. It's a lot to learn in 1 year. Some people normally do it in two. So if that opportunity came up, I would take it, but I also would look to go elsewhere. Um, I think it's like kind of what I said before, like whatever comes to me at any point, like I'll be interested in and take it, like just applying for whatever you can, whether you get it or not. Getting a job fresh post grad is really hard. And that's why just making all those connections. And it's like you never really know who you're talking to. Like you could be talking to someone very important who's looking for a job or a internship job or something like that, like with the NFL. Like you never know who you're talking to. So kind of just feeling it out. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. The more people I meet, the more opportunities there will be. And just kind of take everything that I can get, apply for everything, because you could come out with no opportunities, or you could just apply for everything and then take the best option. But starting off is always really hard, but everything that I've built so far, I feel like will put me in a good spot for after graduation.
Yeah, applying for everything, and like you never know what you're gonna get. But if you could get any role, like what's your dream role?
I would probably want to work for the New York Yankees, definitely something in their like events and promotions and stuff like that. Their fundraising, because kind of learning about the fundraising and all of that stuff with the CAF, I would love to do that with the New York Yankees. I did a whole project about them earlier, and I'm from New York. I love the Yankees, been to a million games, and I just think that that would be definitely the dream job, is to work in their athletic facilities and do whatever I can in there to get up to maybe like some sort of like senior event planning role, like stuff like that.
Then I feel bad taking all your time during the game.
So, what would you say is like the biggest lesson you learned or your biggest takeaway from working for Coastal over the past couple of years, or the past year, and then being there on the team?
I think I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I think the biggest takeaway is just like take everything that you can get and like never say no to anything, because when all of these opportunities came up, I applied for every single one of them instead of just only choosing one, because I feel like if you just choose one, then there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get it. But if you apply for everything, then you could have multiple opportunities. I feel like just never say no to anything, especially with where you are right now. Like being in college, it's very hard to find jobs and those sorts of opportunities. So never say no to anything. I feel like because you never know what it could bring to you. Like I never would have thought that I'd be at this spot a year ago. A year ago, I didn't even know I was going to graduate early. So you never know what could happen.
Well, what made you choose Coastal to play lacrosse there?
I love the weather. I mean, can't complain about that. I never really knew I was gonna come here. I mean, we started our recruiting process in our junior year of high school, so we're not really that, I mean, informed on colleges by that point. So it was kind of a different process. But once I visited, I knew that like I really wanted to go here. And I kind of wanted the like almost like freedom and like chance to grow like on my own by going farther away from home. Because like I said, I'm from New York. It's a big step. But I think just like the freedom of getting out and the nice weather all the time. And I really like my teammates and my roommates. We've been together. We've known each other since we were like 15. So it's just I wouldn't really want to be anywhere else with any other people.
What's your favorite memory? And you can't say meeting me. So what is it?
My favorite memory was when I met Kendall for the first time.
She was on the golf team. She was really cool.
My favorite memory overall at Coastal or like at my job?
Either one.
Well, my favorite memory overall would probably be my sophomore year. We won the ASUN championship and we got to go to the NCAA tournament. That's just like a given, like unforgettable moment that is like burned into my brain. Like we've been working towards that for so long. It was our first championship and like I got to do it alongside my best friends. And it's just something that you'll never forget. I think that's probably my favorite moment. Being at Coastal was winning the championship.
It's a valid favorite memory.
Yeah. I guess going off of that, what is your favorite project, I guess, that you've worked on or that you are working on right now?
I would say, well, obviously we're planning a lot of stuff, but with the planning comes like reevaluation of everything. And I also don't think that people sometimes notice that you have to reevaluate everything after you do it. So I'm working on a newsletter right now, kind of going through everything that we've done throughout the past 2 months and turning it into like bringing in photos, quotes, descriptions of kind of everything that we've accomplished in the past month. And I think it's just really cool. Like I'm having so much fun with it, just looking back and seeing all the pictures of how happy and smoothly everything went when we were stressed about it 2 weeks before, just how it all played out and how we can kind of bring it all together into something that people can read and see what we do and how important it is to people.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it a little bit. But was there a moment where you knew you wanted to work in sports, or like how did you decide that you kind of like that was the path that you wanted to take?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd, but before I ever played sports, I was a competitive dancer my whole life. Very huge switch up. But I only did dance for my whole entire life until I was in about, I think, 8th grade. And then I started playing lacrosse only because my best friend forced me to. And ever since then, like, I just have absolutely loved it and knew that I wanted to definitely do something in sport. And just, I feel like seeing the development of everything. I started really late, but then I also started coaching when I was really young and seeing, especially lacrosse, how much it's developed over the years. I knew that I wanted to be a part of like the development of sports, women's lacrosse, women's sports, everything like that. So I think coaching the younger girls and seeing how it really like how these sports affect them and like makes them want to grow as players and people like really made me want to get into it.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Well, I think that's all we have, but thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode.
Thanks so much to Avery again for coming on. We're so grateful to have her.
And tune in for next week's episode.
Bye.